Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. In these next two videos, we're going to finish up past tense, and then we're going to move on into future tense. And once we're done with that, we're going to really spread out into English and talk about really how to use it, but we need to get these things under our belts first. What does it mean to be under your belt? It means to have this tool available to you, to know how to use things, to have it under your belt. So we've talked about the past perfect simple and past perfect continuous. Now we're going to talk about how to talk about habits in the past. Used to. Now this is different than to use something. I use. Notice also how I pronounce it. Use. I use. Sounds like use with a Z or a Z. I use this pen. I used to study. I used to study. We put these two together, and it looks like used to. Used to. Used to, but it's a S, not a Z. So I use this pen. I used to study English. So used to can be for past habits, and we're going to keep talking about this. Habits versus states of being. I am, that's a state of being. It's just what I am. I am tired. I'm not tireding. I'm not doing an action. I am tired. For used to, we can talk about past habits. We can also talk about past fixed states. I used to live. I used to be. Okay? When we get to would, we can only talk about habits. You'll see. So again, I use this pen. I used to study English, okay? Past habits. I used to study English, but now I prefer Hindi. These days I prefer to speak Hindi. You can put to speak in here as well. To speak. But we know, or to study Hindi. Sorry, to study. But since we already know you're talking about studying, you don't have to say study. I used to study English, now I prefer Hindi, but now I prefer Hindi, right? I can also talk about a past fixed state. I used to be happy, but now I am stressed out. Or you used to be happy, but now you are always stressed out. Now notice how good it is to use this form. It's so easy. You used to, we used to, and be is going to be the same. You used to be, we used to be happy. It's the same, right? It's pretty easy. It's a good one. I used to study. This is the base form of the verb. I used to study. I used to work. I used to go. I used to think. These are the base forms of these verbs. You used to be happy, but now you are always stressed out. You feel tension. Remember, in English, we don't say, you take on tension. A lot of Hindi English speakers say this. You don't take on tension. If you watch Ab Tak Chappan, at one point when the villain is with his Australian girlfriend, she says, you're taking on too much tension. And you know that this was written by a Hindi speaker, because an English speaker would never, ever say this. So she's saying the words that a Hindi speaker wrote for her. We always say stressed out, or you are stressed, you're feeling stress. You used to be happy, but now you're always stressed out. We used to live in Britain, but now we're living in Riyadh. Riyadh. Okay? Does that make sense? Remember to like and subscribe, and ask questions in the comments, and I will answer, okay? You can hit us up on Facebook as well, RJK English, and I'll even answer more. So how do we ask a question? You just add did in front of this. Did you used to study? Did I used to study? You just add did in front of it. Did you? Did you used to be happy? Did you used to be happy? What about if you didn't do something? Then we have to change it. Okay? Watch what used. In the first we said I used with a D to, right? But for this one, we're going to say I did not. We're going to put those together. Didn't, didn't. Use. Sounds like use. Used to. Go to school. Maybe you skipped school all the time. I didn't used to go to school. When you spell it, it's without the D. But really, for us, it sounds the same because that T is going to come in. We're going to bring these together. Used to. I didn't used to go to school. We didn't used to eat fish. We didn't used to live in Britain. Okay? I think there might be something more. Oh, don't use this form. We were playing ball a lot. Cricket a lot. This just means that you were playing at one time and it's specific. You can't use this like in a past habit. That's not right. We used to play. We used to play cricket a lot when I was a child. We used to play. You don't say, we were playing cricket a lot when I was a child. Doesn't work. Okay? Let's go on to the second part. Would. Would. This is only for past habits, not for states. You can't say, when I was younger, I would live in London. You can't use those past states. When I was younger, I would be sad. You can't use that. You can only use it for things you did, habits you had. And it's more formal. This is used in writing, usually. When I was a teenager, I would often go to the movies. Would often. If I made this used to, when I was a teenager, I used to go to the movies a lot. I wouldn't usually say I used to often go to the movies. When we use used to, these are very casual ways of talking. Used to and a lot. When I say when I talk more formal, I say would and often. I put those two together. This is a little bit like when we say got. We only use this in our speech. We don't write got. I can't remember, but you when you notice got, that is kind of like using used to. It's not so formal, okay? But it's this easy. When I was a teenager, I would often go to the movies. Other examples, I didn't used to believe in jinn or ghosts, but now I do. I didn't used to. I used to believe in ghosts, but now I don't. When I was younger, my family would often go on vacation every year. Or my family would go on vacation every year. That's formal. But you can't say, when I was young, I would live in London. You would say, when I was young, I used to live in London. And that is the only way to say it. At that point, it is not casual. That's the only way you can say it. All right, so this is a long one. I hope this is useful. Next time, we're going to summarize all of the past tenses and the present perfect tenses, and we'll wrap this up, and then we'll move on. All right.